Welcome back to So You Really Want to Learn Latin, and today, as promised, we are going to be carrying on our little look at final clauses. We've learnt the present subjunctive, which has this basic meaning of may, he may love, she may love, and we've learnt the conjunctions ut, meaning in order that, and ne, meaning lest, to allow us to create sentences such as he came to school in order that he may see his teacher, or he ran away from school lest he be taught by his teacher. Okay, and these sentences, they're called final clauses or sometimes purpose clauses, and they use ut or ne plus the subjunctive. Okay, so far so good. And we said last time that we would do some more practice at these before we go on and look at other tenses of the subjunctive, and so indeed we will. But before we do that, I just want to cover a wonderful little topic called the worm. Now, my hero Theo Zinn taught me this, and anything he taught me I think must probably go down as gospel truth. The man was a complete genius. In a Latin sentence, you should try at all costs to avoid a thing called the worm. Now, we cover this on page 5 of book 3, and it's a glorious concept which we're just going to spend a little bit of time looking at now. And what we are trying to avoid is a sentence in which complete sense is achieved before you reach the end of the sentence. Now, as you know, a sentence can be made up of one or more clauses, and very often these clauses are subordinate. So the final clauses we've just been learning are subordinate clauses. They are subordinate to the main verb in the sentence. Now, if you have a relatively simple sentence with a subordinate clause in it, you might want to say something like, the consul ruled the city well because he was wise. Okay, now in English that sounds absolutely fine. The consul ruled the city well because he was wise. However, when you put that into Latin, you have to avoid the worm. Okay, so just consider this. If we wrote consul urbem bene regebat, okay, the consul ruled the city well, quod sapiens erat, because he was wise, what we've done is we've created a sentence that makes perfect sense to us English people translating it. But if you see what happened, the first half of that, consul urbem bene regebat, the consul ruled the city well, that makes sense on its own. We could put a full stop there. And yet it carried on, quod, because sapiens erat, he was wise. Now, that little bit tacked on the end, the quod sapiens erat, is kind of hanging off the end of the sentence, and the sentence could have stopped earlier. It could have stopped at regebat. And, Theo used to talk about this worm. It's as if you, with a spade, cut a worm in half, and the poor little worm had kind of gone off in two different directions. You want to avoid that. And the simple way of avoiding it is to change the word order. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to move that main verb, regebat, right to the end. So you'd end up with consul, quod sapiens erat, urbem bene regebat. The consul, because he was wise, he ruled the city well. Okay. Now in English we don't feel the need to do that. We're quite content to have these kind of wormy type subordinate clauses hanging off the end of our main sentences. The Romans didn't like it. Okay. So, if at all possible, avoid the worm. Okay, and we'll see that in practice when we look at some of these Latin sentences now using final clauses. Okay, so if we have a sentence such as, we've got one here, puella ut mensam paret domum festinat. Okay, now puella, the girl, which is nominative singular, and then we go straight into ut. That is because we didn't want our main verb to come any earlier, because if we'd just said something like puella domum festinat, the girl hurries home, that would make sense and we would feel the need to put a full stop. The girl, puella domum festinat, the girl hurries home, that would make sense. Now, in this sentence, we want to know why she hurries home, and we've got ut mensam paret, in order that she may prepare the table. Okay, so the reason, the ut mensam paret, we don't want to have it right at the end, because if we do, it will be a worm. You know, it could be chopped in half. So we bring it inside the body of the main sentence. And that's why we get the Latin order that we've got here. Puella ut mensam paret, the girl, in order that she may prepare the table, domum festinat, hurries home. Okay? Now, when we're translating from Latin into English, the kind of work has been done for you of avoiding the worm, at least if the sentence has been written properly. You'll find this a bit harder when we go the other way. Okay, but, you know, a couple more of these. What have we got? Okay. Hostes ne Romani aquam inveniant castra prope flumen ponent. Okay. Main verb right at the end, ponent, third person plural, subject must be they or a noun in the nominative plural. You know, all these rules still apply. Back we come to the beginning and we've got hostes. The enemy. Ponent will place. The enemy will place. What will they place? Let's see. We've got castra prope flumen. The enemy will place their camp near the river. Now that's the main sentence. That is what happens. The enemy will place their camp near the river. But why? Let's see if there is a purpose given. Ne Romani aquam inveniant, lest the Romans find the water. Okay, so in other words, the enemy put their camp near the river to prevent the Romans getting access to the water. That's why they did it. Okay, and notice the worm was avoided because ne Romani aquam inveniant was tucked inside the rest of the sentence. Okay, so the worm had been avoided. Okay, and we'll just do one more. We've got num Romam venies ut templa nova videas. Okay, so num, remember that one? It's the surely when you're expecting the answer to be no. You're asking a question to which you expect the answer to be no. Num Romam venies. Will you come to Rome? Ut templa nova videas, in order that you may see the new temples. Will you come to Rome to see the new temples? Now, in that one, strictly speaking, a worm has been created. Do you see that? Num Romam venies means, are you going to come to Rome? And we expect the answer to be no. We could have stopped it there. So really, that should more kind of correctly have been num ut templa nova videas Romam venies. You know, with very short little sentences, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal if it's a long sentence, because there you really want to force the reader to keep going with the idea in the sentence all the way to the end. And the only way to be certain you can do that, if you like, to keep his interest, is to delay the end of the sentence beyond the point at which you've got these kind of subordinate clause things, which otherwise would hang off the end. Okay? Right, now we are just going to have a go going the other way, not least because I just want to really ram home the fact that a final clause, although strictly speaking it is translated in Latin with this in order that you may kind of construction, or in order that you may not, or lest you whatever, that's not really the way we do it in English. We just use an infinitive. So for example, if we're translating into Latin, we have come to Rome to see your friends. Okay, we have come to Rome to see your friends. Now, we have come to Rome is Romam venimus. Okay, notice we don't need to, we don't need the preposition ad plus the accusative because it is a town, small island, domus or rus. Okay, so Romam venimus, we have come to Rome. But to see your friends does not require a Latin infinitive as it seems to want in English. Instead, we need this final clause construction. Ut plus the present subjunctive, videamus, in order that we may see your friends, amicos vuestros, or amicos tuos. You don't know if you're talking to one person or more than one, and so we don't know if it's lots of your or just one your. And so to be fussy about this worm problem, let's not go Romam venimus, which would immediately finish the sentence. Instead, we will go something like Romam ut amicos vuestros videamus venimus. Okay, and we'll do another one, this one negative. You have departed from Rome in order that you may not see my mother. You've departed from Rome. Remember, we don't need the preposition because it's a town, small island, domus or rus. So, Roma discessisti, that will be you have departed from Rome if you're talking to one person. Roma discessisti, and because of this worm rule, we're going to shove that discessisti further down the track. But for now, I'm doing this in my head. Roma discessisti, in order that you may not see. So that's ne, in other words, lest, that you may see videas, my mother, matrem meam. Okay? Improve on the word order, we might have Roma ne matrem meam videas discessisti. Okay, and one more, just emphasising this business about the present infinitive that we use in English, which must not be used in Latin. Have you come to the city to read all my books? Okay, you can't tell whether we expect the answer to that to be yes or no, so you can kind of take your pick. Have you come to Rome to read all my books? I'm going to suggest you're expecting the answer to be no to that, so I'm going to use num, but it wouldn't be wrong to use none. Have you come to the city? Num ad urbem, and then our main verb is going to go right at the end, so let's leave it for now. To read all my books, ut libros omnes meos. Okay, that's all my books, all in the accusative there, accusative masculine plural. Ut libros omnes meos, you may read. Legas, okay, lego going like rego, use the wrong vowel, so rego, the wrong vowel for rego is an A, so that's what we're using. Ut legas, and then you have come Wainisti. So, num ad urbem ut libros omnes meos legas Wainisti. Okay, right. Now that's enough for now. Do work your way through the exercises in the book. Very good practice to do that. And next time we are going to move on and look at another tense of the subjunctive, which is the imperfect subjunctive. Really, really common, more common than the present. Very easy to form, as I'll show you next time. So, until then, do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already for notifications about future lessons, and I'll see you back here on this channel very soon.